Hello chess lovers, Suren here with another spectacular game for you. This game was played between Louis Charles Le Bourdonnais and Alexander McDonnell. The game was played in 1834 in London. Le Bourdonnais had white pieces and he started with e4, e5 by McDonnell, bishop c4, bishop's opening, bishop c5 and queen e2. Of course, not the most popular move. Usually in this position, white is playing knight f3 or knight c3 or d3, but in the game we see queen e2, knight f6, d3, knight c6, c3, knight e7 and f4. White goes for the late king's gambit type positions. He takes f4, now comes d4, bishop b6, and the bishop captures the pawn on f4. d6, a very passive move. It was better to play d5 and challenge white's center. If he takes d5, then black can castle kingside, then capture on d5, place the rook on e8 square. This of course would have been better. Instead we see d6. Bishop d3, knight g6 and bishop e3. Le Bourdonnais is moving back his bishops, but actually these bishops now look a bit passive. Black castles kingside, h3. Well, not quite clear why not knight f3. Instead we see h3 taking under control the g4 square, not allowing any knight or bishop intrusion, but already black is managing to create some problems for white. Right now the pawn on e4 square is under attack. Knight d2, well, bishop g5 would have been more active. Instead we see knight d2, queen e7, white castles queenside and c5, trying to somehow activate this bishop. King b1, c takes d4, c takes d4, and a5. Instead of playing a5, bishop d7 is a better idea, and then bishop c6 putting pressure on e4. Instead we see a5, knight f3, bishop d7, g4. White is trying to counterattack on the king side, h6, a move which is making black's king side vulnerable. Rook g1, a4, g5, h takes g5, bishop takes g5, a3 and b3. Well, instead of playing b3, knight c4 is better, attacking the bishop on b6 square. If bishop c7, then white can either capture on a3 or play knight e3. If a takes b2, then simply queen takes b2, no problem at all. But after a3, when you are playing b3, this pawn is becoming very strong, and later we will see that this pawn is creating too many problems for white. Bishop c6, rook g4, bishop a5, h4, bishop takes d2, knight takes d2, rook a5 and h5. A move which allows black to go for a beautiful combination. Instead of playing h5, rook f1 is better, intensifying the pressure on f6. Actually, after rook f1, black is facing serious problems. The engine says that black should give up his rook by capturing on g5, and after rook takes g5, again black's position is very dangerous. The pawn will march forward and it's not quite clear how is black going to defend his king. But instead, after rook a5, we see h5. And here Alexander McDonnell unleashed a very beautiful combination. He first captured on g5, removed the bishop, and after rook takes g5, he played knight f4, coming after the light square bishop, queen f3, knight takes d3, removing the defender, and now already black will capture on e4, d5. Of course, queen takes d3 can be very dangerous because of this knight takes e4. Both attacking the rook, also threatening knight takes d2, opening up this bishop's diagonal. That's why after knight takes d3, Le Bourdonnais played d5. Here comes knight takes d5, opening up the queen's diagonal, rook g1, both protecting the rook, also attacking the pawn on g7. But here McDonnell started to demonstrate the power of his knights. He first played knight c3 check, and after king a1 he captured on e4. But at the same time this allows white to capture on g7 with a check. Rook takes g7 check, king h8. On the surface it looks like that black king is in danger, but actually black is managing to defend his king properly. queen g3. Well, if queen e3 with the threat of queen h6 check, then simply queen f6 covering the h6 square. That's why we see queen g3. Already white is creating some mating threats. Now comes bishop g6, blocking the g file and at the same time opening up the queen's path. H takes g6, and here comes queen e1 check. Look at this. Rook takes e1, which allows black to mate in 6. But actually, if we move like knight b1, then after the exchange of queens, black can play rook e1, and again this is going to be winning. If rook h7, then simply king g8, and then king takes h7. But after queen e1 check, we see rook takes e1. Rook takes e1 check, forcing white to give away his queen. Queen takes e1, knight takes e1, this time threatening knight c2 checkmate. Look at this white king. This is just a mind-blowing position. Actually, this white king is entangled in a mating net. Rook h7 check, king g8. White is trying to prolong his life. G takes f7 check, king takes h7. And what is more interesting in this position, Bourdonnais promoted his pawn to a knight. What's going on, guys? King h6, by the way, king g8 and king h8 are also winning, but of course not king g7, because white can play knight e6 check and then knight d4 cover the c2 square, somehow prolong his life. But instead, after f8 knight, we see king h6, just a precise move, and it's over. Knight b1, and here comes knight c2 checkmate. Look at this amazing smothered mate on the board. This is just insane. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this beautiful game. Good luck.